Hello, hello. We have a new chapter of One Piece. This one has an insane title 103 Mercy's Dragon Damnation, which sounds like maybe an attack Zoro would use, and indeed, Zoro is prominently featured on this cover spread, which shows his family and other close relations. Now, this is something that wasn't really explained very much in the manga itself, but has like wormed its way into a few SBS questions, and honestly, the way I encountered it was just kind of reading through the One Piece wiki, as I sometimes do when I'm bored, and being like, I don't remember hearing about any of this. But yeah, it's like Zoro's ancestor lived in Wano, was a famous swordsmith and samurai. He's also distantly related to the legendary samurai Ryuma, whose corpse he fought on Thriller Bark. And this legendary samurai of yore, that was Zoro's more immediate ancestor, was a clan head. There was some sort of like inner drama or something that caused them to flee Wano and settle down in the sleepy East Blue village, which I believe they helped found, where Zoro eventually was born and raised. And I don't remember the details, I don't remember the exact family tree, but that's the gist. And I think somehow this is all going to come to pass in Zoro's battle against Lucci today. Uh, it's going to be wild. I honestly want more Luffy versus Kizaru. I'm sure we're going to get a bit of that too. But I'm glad if they give some focus to the Zoro Lucci fight, that's not just kind of like a write-off, like, oh, of course Zoro is strong enough to beat Lucci now, because Lucci's friggin' strong, and it's a big deal that Zoro has been able to strengthen himself to this level. I love this title page. It's just so cool, and the way that the title is like written out so stylistically. All of these characters, so many of whom we've just kind of gotten glances and excerpts of their life here and there. This great woven tapestry, rippling in the distance, faded by history. Now we are seeing come to light bit by bit. Oh my god, I love this series. Oh, just kidding. That's not even the title of the chapter. I thought that was the title of the chapter. I thought this was going to be a Zoro related chapter. But this instead is just like the title of this cover page. But it seems to contain something new, like this title, The 103 Mercies Dragon Damnation. It must indicate something. I don't know. Anyways, the real title is Five Elders, Godhead of Science and Defense, St. J. Garcia Saturn, which is even more hype. It's like, man, it's really been hitting home and blowing my mind how far out Oda has been able to compose this series, and how things that were created to be hype over a decade ago are still having this big impact, right? Like, we first saw the Five Elders, sheesh, like, what, soon after Alabasta? Like, almost 1,000 chapters ago, is that right? No, maybe we didn't see them until, like, Skypiea. Like, we saw the Shichibukai meeting and stuff right after Crocodile was eliminated. But I don't remember if we see the Gorosei. It doesn't matter. It's a long-ass time either way. I've been reading Toriko lately. I was in the mood to kind of binge through an old shonen series that I'd never read before, and some people I'd been talking to online had been reading Toriko. And I was like, yeah, that one's always been interesting to me. It's been a lot of fun so far. I'm only about 5 or 6 volumes in, and I'm just kind of seeing the Narcent world building start to accumulate. Little teasers of future arcs start getting sprinkled in, which is phenomenal. But it just makes me appreciate all the more how much Oda is like the master and innovator of this style of shonen writing and shonen world building. It's hard to imagine anyone else will top Oda, at least in my lifetime, on being able to do that, on being able to craft this multiple decade long epic. Okay, so Atlas commands the Pacifista to wipe out all the Navy. So now that they realize that the highest authority has kicked in, the Pacifistas turn once more. They see aspects of Vegapunk coming down from the... I always forget which sphere is which sphere. The Labo phase into the Fabio phase. Looking for Bonnie. I like that we see a little bit of the Marine perspective here. How chaotic this all is for them. Just the shot of them looking up at like the factories and the Labo phase above and just being like, the fuck is going on again? Using the island clouds to drive. All these little things. And it's like such a fun payoff if you are a One Piece obsessive and you remember all this stuff about how island clouds work from Skypiea, which is, again, like 20 years ago. But I think if you're a more casual fan, it's just like, okay, whatever. Like, it's not instrumental to the plot. The significance of what's happening is always clear. Very cool. My lady radar. Good, good. Okay, so Sanji runs off. Maybe getting into his own fight. Bonnie gets attacked. This might be a vice admiral or something. I can't really recognize, but he's got this weird weapon, which is pretty notable. And typically, dudes below vice admiral don't get to be so notable these days. Bonnie hits them with the NDE, near-death experience. Better than the MDE, the Doja Cat career killing experience. That's a bizarre joke. Ooh, it makes them think they're dead briefly. That's insane. This is like such an insane little sequence of panels. And it just completely conks them out. Crazy. Why? Oh, so the Pacifista were told to attack the Navy admirals. Or the Navy, the Navy forces and stuff. But they were never told not to attack Bonnie, I guess? Whoa. Never mind. It's this creepy Admiral Bluegrass. What an insane design. Oh, maybe she doesn't normally look like that. Maybe she's been hit with Bonnie's power. And, has been now turned ancient. Driver with the ride fruit. I can take a ride on anything and anyone. Oh, just kind of like that one about Putin. That manga about the ride-on king. Okay, interesting. Poor Bonnie being attacked by these representations of her dad. Just when she's really come to love her dad. She just spent God knows how long wandering through the memories of her father, and now sees these abominations bearing his face trying to kill her. Okay. The ride fruit is pretty cool. I wonder if it'll be relevant again. Otter hammer. Oh, so he's got like otter powers. You can see his feet, and he's got a tail too. He's got like an otter fruit. I love it. I love it. Sanji hauls her off. Heading back up. They've accomplished their 2 missions. Grab Bonnie and flip the Pacifista. Maybe they can get back into the Labo phase. Okay, meanwhile, one of the most exciting fights I can imagine. Kizaru getting weary, given the huff. I think it's the first time we've seen any sort of indication from him ever that he's like tired or strained or pushed to the limit. Okay. Whoa, okay. But now, it's Jay Garcia's time. Even the other Marine people are shocked that he's actually making a move. Pacifista, stand down. The 5 elders. Whoa! Dude, the pentagram, these like dark sparks of energy and stuff. Okay, I'll say this. When there was the whole scene of Sabo fighting against the Five Elders and Imu, obviously Sabo was getting wrecked, and it wasn't like really super clear what was going on. It seemed like the Five Elders turned into those big shadow beasts. It wasn't really clear what they could do. Emo had that like black arrow dart thing. And it's not that I was like disappointed, because I didn't expect to see anything like that at all anyways. But I was like, I don't know, like I hoped there would be more gravitas around the unveiling of something like this. And I think this more fits the bill in terms of how insane and how hype this could be. Saint Saturn of the Five Elders is disembarking on Egghead. Commodores and below aren't even allowed to have an audience with them. All the way here, the highest authority in the world. Man, I remember for so long people were like, are these dudes even strong, or do they just have like administrative powers? And it's like, okay, that would be kind of like an interesting twist, that this world is so corrupted that at the top it's just these feeble old men, and they rule with like this invalid power or whatever. But I think this is much more hype. And again, I've been talking about how I think everything in the end is going to accumulate in a all good guys versus all bad guys outright war, right? Like, I think somehow the stars will align such that that becomes kind of our final arc. And right now it feels like we've got way more good guys than bad guys. And we need the bad guys to represent, you know, army-shattering strength if it's going to be a fair fight. So, the Five Elder Stars. Look at this. Oh my gosh, the way this is depicted. Oh, what is that monster? This is so hype. Oh my god, he looks so cool. He's like a spider. So, I guess, yeah, he turned into the Shadow Beast fully, but this is like semi-in-between. Okay. Is Luffy gonna fight this thing right away? Saint J. Garcia? Dang. Clocks him. The Gum Gum Star Gun. That's Geno's strongest weapon in Super Mario RPG. I love the way these really sketchy, like, kind of notebook doodle type stars are popping out of his head. I'm seeing stars. Ooh. Recognizes that's Nika. So they're both kind of down for the count. Mutual KO. Kizaru seems to have his entire brain dislodged. It's the sort of thing they can happen with Gear 5. The egg tank crashes back down to the same level as St. J. Garcia Saturn. Whoa. So she recognizes this is the reason that Kuma was totally obliterated. And stabs Saturn J. Garcia. I don't think it's gonna be enough. But holy shit. This is getting crazy. What a chapter. What can I even say? Nothing. I don't think there's anything I can say. This is just so much beyond anything I could have hoped for. This is so crazy. Alright, let's look forward to next week. Let's hope for no break. Let's keep on rolling. See some Saint Saturn in action. It looks pretty bad for our heroes, doesn't it? But I think it's going to be an escape type thing. I don't think they're going to fight this admiral right now. I think they're going to haul ass off of Egghead. Ooh, and Kuma could show up at any moment as well. I don't know. There's some crazy shit unfolding. Okay. See you next week.